Good morning. Welcome to Tachyon Triage. I am Brandy, and today we're going to talk about something that rolled me out of bed. Yes, you can see my PJs here. So let's get to it. There we go. What do you do when the person you trusted most decides to blindside you? What do you do when a relationship betrayal turns into a public spectacle? When someone tries to rewrite the narrative, spread rumors, use your private vulnerabilities against you, to humiliate you and within public, okay? Now, this is for my Leo risings, teaching from a place that I have wisdom. I'm also Leo rising. So if you carry a Scorpio moon, which all of you do, or you have that influence in your energy, if you carry a Scorpio moon, there is an interesting dynamic going on with Lilith currently within the house of Sagittarius. And for me, in my area, it's in the 21st degree. So that is a Sagittarius degree. So that's going to amplify it. This is part of that healing process that's been going on. Okay. Purging things out. So this may come up. But if you carry a Scorpio moon, then your natural instinct is to turn to absolute ice. And you know that. We will do that. We will cut you off, and we're good with life like that. We're completely good with that. You literally map out someone's psychological weak points with a Scorpio moon. And maybe you drop in a savage, unfiltered truth, it burns the entire freaking bridge to ash. Like, you don't play. You don't play. You have the power, Leo, to destroy the narrative completely, and you know you do. You know you do. But I want to talk to you a little bit about this energy, and I want you to ask yourself a question. Are your defense mechanisms actually liberating you? Or are they keeping you trapped within cycles? Okay, maybe like a hypervigilant cycle. Like, what are they like? Because you got that psychic moon energy. And when someone betrays you publicly, they expect you to get messy. You're not going to do that, especially my Leo risings. You don't get messy. You don't play their games. You don't hide away in shame. Now you might pull off to re-collaborate, restructure. But today we're flipping the script. We aren't talking about how to outsmart your enemies or win a petty war or anything like that. Some of the energies that I've been picking up on is removing yourself from the fight where it's not going to change anything, like wasting your energy. And that's coming up more in the next months here. We are mapping out how to take this thing out of a public betrayal and turn it into a magnificent personal evolution, because that's what's happening for you, Leos. Because the moment you stop letting their actions dictate your energy, you step into your ultimate truth. And what is that truth? The truth is, Leo, you have always had the power to free yourself, always, and you always will, period, point blank, period. So let's talk about how to master your chart in the most positive way. I don't know why this is coming through, but it is. Let's start with your Scorpio moon. When you experience a deep relationship betrayal, this placement goes into survival mode. Okay. Into survival mode. It expects the world to be unsafe, point blank. It just doesn't trust. It's that Scorpio energy. If it hasn't been fully integrated, it stays on high alert, watching every word and action the people around you make. And we don't have any, it's just something we do. We're just super intuitive. waiting for the next shoe to drop. It craves soul level intimacy, and you know that's difficult to find because it's so terrified of being manipulated or controlled, and it hides behind a mask of playful indifference. And I need you guys to understand that there is this aspect where you must embody both energies, and you have a moon in Scorpio, right? That is your shadow side. But you can use it to work together. And there's a lot of power in the Scorpio moon. Okay. It's very psychic, it's very intuitive. It's certainly not one to mess with, you know. But this aspect where Lilith is here, specifically in my chart, it's like Lilith is the guard dog. So we have to learn how to work with these energies positively so we can move forward. Okay, so we can use it to the best of our benefit here. Um, so being aware of that emotional sensitivity is a big deal here, you know. And you know you don't need to build a fortress to keep the world out, and you can trust your own psychic energy. You know, you have a built-in bullshit radar detector. I mean, you just do. You know what I'm saying. You know when somebody's there and what they're there for. And the positive evolved Scorpio moon doesn't waste its life force holding on to grudges or obsessing over stuff. So, you know, you might be here already, but this is for people who may not know, you know, or maybe you need reminded because somebody's really testing your patience recently. Um, and they don't obsess on how to make the betrayer pay. Um, Instead, it practices emotional alchemy, which is not something that's really spoke about. Like, I don't feel like in the communities, I've not heard that. Comment below if someone else is talking about emotional alchemy. It takes the raw pain of heartbreak and it transforms it into this profound, unshakable, and I do mean unshakable, psychological wisdom. It learns its lesson. You stop seeking validation or public apology from people who lack the capacity to give it. And that's the big thing is this lack of understanding, this lack of compassion, this lack of there's a lot of people around you, Leo, that have the inability to sort of understand the frequency that's going on. I mean, you're coming into this energy of the essence, big time shit. The essence, okay? And you are self-generated and independent from external, right? You're looking from me to we, and that we is those people who are vibrating that way. They just understand, they just get it. They get you, okay? But your emotional safety is it no longer comes from trying to control what others think of you or like putting on a show or any of that shit. You know, it comes from being 100% loyal to yourself. And so we're really stepping into the energy where we're being there for ourselves more. We're depending and leaning on ourselves, and we're really integrating this moon energy, the Scorpio energy, which is the shadows out of you. It doesn't have to be, but you know, what is a more powerful energy like Scorpio moon and Leo? Okay. Like two really powerful, powerful energies. And then most of you Leo risings have Sagittarius in the fifth house. Okay. Or a frequency as such. So, you know, so now let's look at your Lilith, okay, energy. And so for me, it's at the 21st degree. Okay. And it's in my fifth house because it sits in like this 21st degree. It's like super Sagittarius energy. Okay. It's a super Sagittarius degree. So the urge that you have to like drop the truth bomb and like put somebody in their place is super high right now. Let me remind you, try not to play the games with them. All right. You're going to want to say the thing. And with this energy here, somebody could take it as you're trying to control them, or maybe you feel that way, or there's just a real sensitivity in the energy. I've had multiple people come into my tachyon triage lives, and I think this is one of the reasons I'm getting the hit for this. And I got the hit to do this for you. Okay, so super Sagittarius degree. Okay, super Sagittarius degree. So you're going to have this huge urge for freedom, this urge to speak the raw truth, and it's dialed up to like 1,000. Okay, to like 1,000. And let's just say that, I mean, and you know, with the Sagittarius energy, people who talk shit or gossip right now or play mind games, it's going to irritate your energy so badly. You just want to be around genuine people. You like don't want to deal with the petty, right? So let's say, I'm going to give you an example. I'm not saying this is what it is, but let's say that there's someone that's trying to spin a story or say some things that aren't true or try to mess with you when you're just in your own lane doing your thing. And first of all, I'm going to tell you, just stay in your lane and emit that energy, that essence. But you're going to want to pick up a megaphone and expose the mother hypocrisy with a brutal, blunt, precise that's going to like pierce into them. And then you're going to want a mic drop. Don't do it. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you feel like you need to do that, you do what you need to do. I've been there, I've done that. I'm not perfect at all. Like, I'm just saying it's really not worth it. While speaking the truth is powerful, we know this. The highest expression of this energy isn't public destruction, all right? It's liberation. Remember, you have the power to free yourself. You always have. So unfiltered, creative liberation. That's what I'd rather you focus on. Okay. The fifth house is the realm of joy, romance, your inner child. Okay. Self-expression. And when you work with this positively, you channel the raw energy. Okay. And it can be using that dark energy for positive, you know, transmuting it into positive. I'm not telling you to tap into the dark or anything like that. You don't do anything you don't want to do. I'm just saying transmuting, because we all have both sides, right? You know, polarity, it's dual by design. And I've been saying that a lot. So, but you can take that and you can transmute that fire directly into passions, art, career, personal joy. I mean, you're so creative right now. So what I'm saying is don't waste your fire, because, you know, Jupiter's touching the sun and it's hot. Don't waste that fire, because you can burn somebody really bad. Don't waste that fire on other people that aren't worth your time, effort, and energy. You know what I mean? That's like if you refer back to August 2026, I talked about how I had to walk away from a situation because my fighting, defensiveness, protectiveness, it wasn't going to make a change, right? And I was definitely triggered with the energy, similar frequency to this, because of the weaponized leadership, you know, seniority, things like that. You should watch that reading. I'll link it down in the description box below. But don't waste your precious energy trying to correct people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Just don't do it. Your light is too expensive right now. They can't even afford admission, okay? Your light is too expensive to argue with people whose lives are in like this damn distortion. You know what I mean? Like it's a waste. Instead, use the energy to create words, poetry, lyrics. You know, speak the truth. I'm not telling you not to. Speak your truth. And live a life that inspires and liberates other people. Like me telling you, you have the key and the power to free yourself, and you always will. No one can take that from you. You're the only one that can control that. Okay? You have the right to exist the way that you want to exist. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. And you have the right to thrive in your energy, Leo, and unapologetically, and to have fun and not feel bad about that at all. Okay? But let these beautiful energies of you existing, just you being you, that presence that you have, Leo, and working with that psychic, that deep penetrating psychic energy of that Scorpio and your moon energy or in your fourth house, let that be your rebellion, right? Like, just let it change everything. Let it change people's lives, right? Inspire them to be free from things. Um, and that's how you step out of like this energy of victim, right? What do I mean by that? Like being stuck in these cycles that you have given your power to, right? And it actually distracts you from doing the thing that is best beneficial for you. All right. You have the power to free yourself always. You don't need to fight the old narrative. Trust me, I learned this shit the hard way. You don't need to trust, or you don't need to fight the old narrative. Focus entirely on building this new era or this magnificent new reality, right? That's where your energy needs to be focused. When you bring your healed Scorpio moon and this elevated Sagittarius energy together, something miraculous happens. It's just magic. It happens to especially your Leo rising, if you're a Leo rising, but I'm sure Leos feel this too, but you stop projecting a defensive mask, okay, of untouchable pride, and you start to radiate genuine warmth and magnetic authority. What do I mean? A Leo rising, if they're betrayed, they are not going to show you that. They're strong. They're going to show up very composed, and they're not going to drop down to the level to engage in petty public drama. They're not going to do it. If they're in a higher vibration, they're just not going to do it. You won't even know anything is happening. They just choose to not engage in the shit. Okay. So you become magnetically authoritarian or authoritative energetically, the essence, the presence. And I feel like some of you guys will form public alliances with people that you value. And I've done that recently. Someone that you see as a bright light in what's going on. They've really worked on integrating like their self, and they're a whole integrated frequency. Okay. And maybe you'll form public alliances and work with people that you really value. And it's all a part of that from me to we. And I feel like we is important, right? Like who is the we? Who is those that are important enough to be in your energy? All right. So maybe you'll form public alliances, but you're not doing it like a calculated chess move or anything like that. However, some people might feel that way, right? Especially if that public betrayal maybe involved other parties or similar parties. Um, it's not even like Scorpio resentful energy to maneuver the enemy or their energy. You're doing it because you genuinely match someone's frequency. All right. So maybe you hook up with someone else, maybe he's in a relationship and you start dating someone else. It's because you befriend someone else. It's because you have a genuine match to their frequency. And it's like a high power frequency. It's like you're looking for specific high vibrational people or people who are very integrated. Okay. And it's like you are silencing some of the static. I've said this all along. You're silencing the static and it's, or the noise, you could say, and it's becoming more of a signal. And with Jupiter, and I haven't really addressed this, but with Jupiter going into Leo, and especially Leo risings here, it's transiting your first house of self. Okay, Leo risings, but Leos, you're going to feel this too. the universe is completely amplifying your personal power. It is. But remember what I said, Jupiter is a wonderful planet, but the thing is, like, it brings lessons, right? Like, how are you going to yield that power? So be mindful of that. Um, be mindful of that. Awareness of self and awareness of others is definitely something that's in tune right now for you. But the universe is amplifying your personal power. So what will you do with it? This transit is a cosmic radar, okay, for you to really tap into the bullshit of meter two. You're super deep psychic right now. You're on top of your game. You're powerful. Your presence is power. Your essence is power. You can't even walk in a room without people noticing. Okay, you're gonna get seen. It is what it is. And but there is this reminder to you that you're a conscious creator, right? With the fifth house energy, you're a conscious creator. So your consciousness creates what it is that you want. And if you've been betrayed publicly, Leo, and I feel like a lot of Leos have publicly, all right, maybe you're not speaking about it, you're being silent about it, and that's okay, because the other Leos know. We know, because we've been there. We've got the bumper sticker and the t-shirt. We just don't feel like publicly blasting people, because we know eventually, like, the truth will come out. We're that's beneath us to really mess with the energy like that. We don't care. We really don't care. We're off to bigger, better things. But that betrayal doesn't define you, and it's not your fault, Leo. I don't know why people mistake your kindness for weakness. I don't know. I don't know. They have no idea. They forget. That moon in Scorpio, they freaking forget. They forget. Um, and when that's integrated, buddy, watch out. I'm telling you. And if somebody dropped a public rumor about you, it doesn't define you. Okay, people are, haters are gonna hate, they're gonna talk, Leo. Okay. And someone else's betrayal was really just the catalyst to force you out of spaces that were too small for you anyway. Okay. Relationships that were too small for you anyway. So you're walking forward knowing that your freedom, Leo, cannot be granted or taken away by anybody else, that you always have the key and the power to free yourself. Sorry, I got a little, but it's true. And right now, you're being backed by the highest evolution. All right. So, sorry I showed up in my PJs, but it is what it is. I got the hit for it, and I typed up some stuff here, and I wanted to give you this message. So thank you for looking at this with me today. I hope that this brings value to you. I hope that it helps you. It maps out like a little bit more understanding for you. And ask yourself a question. Is your defense mechanism keeping people at an arm's length, though, for a reason? I'm sure it is, but, like, think about that, as we proceed forward. And have you really worked and integrated the moon in Scorpio into your energy, if you're a Leo rising specifically? Okay, because that is the side that needs to be fully integrated. Let your Scorpio moon guide your wisdom if you're a Leo rising. Okay, let your Leo rising shine. Okay, because that's what it's supposed to do. So if this perspective helped you in any way reclaim your power or see something differently, maybe from a different situation, drop a crown in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I want to see my Leos are not dealing with people and wasting their energy on a fight where their action isn't going to change anything, because there is toxicity. Okay. So let me know how you're choosing to, let me know how you're choosing yourself today. Let's say that, because it's about choosing you, Leo. Okay. And don't forget to, subscribe if you like this channel, and you can attend the Tachyon Triage Lives to get live energy readings or tarot card readings with me, with my author deck. if you're interested. But I love you, Leo. Just hang in there. I know a lot has gone on and you haven't spoken about it. Um, just know that some of us know. Okay. And I love you, Leo. And until next time, stay in your tachyon mind. Bye, guys. Peace.